This is the first lesson in Algebra 1, chapter 1.1 of Big Ideas. And you have already learned to solve equations. You did it both in 7th and 8th grade, so this should just be a reminder of how we do so. In order to isolate this variable, this x, to get it all by itself so that there's nothing on this side except the x, we have to get rid of this constant minus 3. And the opposite operation of minus 3, or subtract 3, is to add 3. Now, whatever you do to the left side of the equation, you have to do to the right side of the equation. So now, my 3's are opposites, or also known as inverse operations. I will cancel those out, and they are alone, and then I have negative 5 plus 3. Since the signs are different, you would have to subtract these. That will be 2. And then you use the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. So since negative 5's absolute value is bigger than 3's, it will be a negative 2. You can check yourself by plugging it back in to see if it works. Is negative 2 minus 3 equal negative 5? It is, so you can know that your answer is correct. Now here is one where we have decimals involved. So if I'm trying to isolate this y, the opposite of add 2.8 is to subtract 2.8. So I'm going to subtract 2.8 from both sides. And I'm going to do that without a calculator here, although your teacher may let you use it. Negative 2.8 plus 0.9. I'm going to subtract those. I'm going to borrow one from the 2 and give it to the 8 and make that a 1. So 18 minus 9 is 9. So I've got 1.9, and it will be negative 1.9. If I plug that back in to check it, negative 1.9, if I added it to 2.8, I would really be subtracting and should get 0.9 back. So these cancel. Y equals negative 1.9. Here's a very simple problem. That's n divided by 5. The opposite operation of divide is to multiply. So multiply by 5 on both sides. 5's become 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. N is now isolated. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. When you're multiplying and you have different signs, you have a negative answer. This one looks odd because it has the pi symbol, which is representing a number. And if you're trying to solve for the x, you're going to divide by pi, because this is pi times x. If I divide by pi on both sides, these pi's cancel. X is isolated. These pi's actually cancel, and I'm left with a negative 2. And then on this one, if I divide by 1.3, since it's 1.3 times z, the opposite operation is to divide. Divide by 1.3 on both sides. Z will equal, and I'm going to do this just in case your teacher doesn't let you use a calculator. I'm going to do the long division and also remind you how to do that. This number on top goes up under the division bar, and this is what you're dividing by. You have to move that decimal over one place to make that 13, and then you'll move this decimal over one place to make it 52 and bring that decimal up. 13 goes into 52, I believe, maybe about 4 times. Let's see if it's 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 1 plus 5. Yes, it's 4 times. So the answer to this one is 4.